Hi, we're back here at Gateway Greens. I'm with Walter, the Access Control Director. Walter, tell us a little bit about your background, where you come from. I know you've been in law enforcement, but also tell us how you work these systems on a daily basis, what it entails, I guess.
Sure. Nice to meet you. I appreciate you. Um, I moved down south in 2002, took on a job in the private sector as a logistic manager, moving along field and operations. Along the way, teaching me good, strong communication skills with customer service and planning projects. Prior to that, I was in law enforcement in New York City, so that brings in the security aspect of my training that I could offer Gateway Greens. As Access Control Director here, I've implemented the ISN into the community, helped transition everyone go from the old system that we had into the new system. And we did that in a couple of different ways. We set up tents in sub communities to help these homeowners reach those communities within their area. And we moved along the community to do over 1,400 doors and probably about close to 4,000 transponders. So the transition wasn't as smooth as we thought it was going to be. It took us about 4 months to get it completed, but we learned a lot. And working closely together with ISN, you guys did a great job helping us through and developing this system that we have today that's kind of custom for our needs, because we do things a little different over here. The system is great. The database is great. My added security background through law enforcement helps me enforce some of these rules as far as access to the community.
That's great. That's great. So in regards to the systems that you're using with ISN and the suite and then the reports, walk me through a little bit how that works and how you're able to navigate through that on your daily.
Absolutely. We use an area of ISN called the report engine. And it's pretty much one of the things I love about it is information at a glance. It's just basically up there at a glance. And we do this, and it's valuable information. As you can see here, we have a total of 1,438 units right now, which are doors in our community, about 14 miles of road. So there's a lot of area to cover. We have close to 4,000 residents, as it says, and it tells a story by looking at this. And we could do road work planning because it tells us when our peak time of traffic is, when our peak time of visitors is. This is one of my favorite areas. There's an area here that's called visitors. At any point in time, I could go and put an address, and it'll tell me exactly how many visitors that unit has received, who they are, and what did they use to come into the community. Wow. It could be using a 6-digit code. It'll just give me all that story. This is a very valuable area. We have 4 main gates. One is at Hinton Links. That's an area that's not covered by a guard, so it's running standalone on the kiosk and ISN. Then we have Walden main gate, which is a 24-hour coverage by guard, and our West Links entrance, which is our commercial entrance, that's covered 12 hours during the day. That area there has a kiosk. We have 2 more exits that we normally don't talk about because they're just exit gates over at Hammock Cove and Waste Haven. And those are not manned by ISN, but there's equipment in there that would kick in on an emergency basis if ISN had to come in and open those gates for us.
That's great. That's great. And then your traffic hawk, you're able to, are you in charge of that process as well? While we're just wanted to throw that out there a little bit. I know it can be
good. So, when we first came aboard here 2 years ago, we had a terrible issue with speeding. We went and did a lot of research and found that ISN provided also traffic hawks. One of the things we liked about it is they evolved as we were transitioning from the old system to the new, so it gave us some time to do some research on that, which worked out great for us. At that point, they had come up with a new unit, a sealed unit, where it had cellular service, so we get on time. So we have 2 right now currently. We move them from neighborhood to neighborhood, and we're averaging between 15 or 30 violations a day, which brings in some revenue to help, of course, some of the equipment and some of the access control costs that's associated with it. Of course, the homeowners weren't happy, but the homeowners itself are appreciative of the equipment now because they saw what it was like when these visitors were coming in and still speeding. So it is working effectively.
Mm-hmm.
It's also working, bringing in some revenue for us.